Welcome back to the Blood Bear channel, and this video is about Ready Player One. Again, I'm actually in this video going to be comparing the book to the film. We'll go over the similarities, differences, which one I think is better in my opinion of them, and then that's it pretty much. That'll be the conclusion of the video. I can tell you right now. And I'll tell you why I think it's better. But right now, I do think that the movie is better, and I'll get into that later. So yeah, I guess without further ado, we can jump into the similarities. First, the first similarity is that the Easter egg hunt for Hell Today's Easter egg hunt is still a thing. It's a thing in both, and the prize is pretty much the same. It's I guess it would be like stock or shares in the company that he owns, which also runs Oasis, Gregarious Games or whatever it's called. Another similarity is the 3 keys. You have to gather 3 keys. Or there's like 3 different trials that you have to do in order to find the Easter egg. And it takes a lot of people don't know where it is. That's another, or nobody has got the key at the beginning of the story. That's another similarity. Parsifal is the first to get the copper key. The IOI and Sorrento are still the bad guys. That's, again, another similarity there. So Sorrento's the what? I don't think Sorrento's not in charge of the company, the IOI company. He's just like a branch head manager, or I don't know exactly what his position is in that organization, but I'm pretty certain that he is not like the top dog of that company. So it kind of makes you wonder, is like, well, because like at the end of both he gets arrested, right? But it kind of makes you wonder, is like, well, how come the CEOs or the shareholders of this company, the people that are actually in charge, how come they're not getting arrested? Like, sure, he's the one who did all that, but they're the ones who give the okay to do all that. Because at least in the book, he asked the people above him if he could kidnap Artemis and Shoto, which, I mean, he emailed them, which makes you kind of wonder, is like, if he asked first to then talk with Parsifal and set up explosives on the stacks, right? So I don't know why it doesn't show them getting arrested. Anyways, Parsifal, H, and Artemis all look as they were described in the book. So those are similar. Dato and Shoto do not. That will be different in the differences portion of this video. Anyways, the High Five are all technically the same characters. They got the same names and all of that. Now, I will say I think their avatars in the Oasis look different than what is described in the books. And I guess technically Parsifal looks different, not kind of, looks different than described in the books. But I'd say he's good enough, because anyways, yeah, so another similarity here, I guess I should have prefaced this with there being spoilers for both the movie and the books. Not the books, but the singular book. Yeah, so Parsifal wins, and then he splits the company's shares amongst the members of the High Five. And then also he does get an extra life in the movie as well. as in the book. And then a lot of the stuff is similar for like most of this, like plot wise. Sorrento is still like obviously the big bad guy, and he takes over the final location of the where the final location for the final key is. Not the final key, but where the gate is. He takes over that final location that would allow somebody to go and get the Easter egg. So, and then IOI still has that like weird indentured servitude thing. So if you owe the company money, they can literally lock you up and make you work for them. And then Parsifal still lives in the stacks. There is actually a difference with this than in the book, and I know I'm talking about this before we get to the differences, but in the books, after the explosion, Parsifal goes to live in the city by himself. The city where IOI is run, and then in the movie, I don't think he necessarily does that. I don't know what his living situation was like, because like his place gets exploded, and then I think he's just kind of in the Oasis the entire time after that. Or his place gets, I think, blown up a lot later than in the book. So anyways, literally the same thing here happens with Sorrento using the catalyst, which like nukes an entire sector of the Oasis. So, and then Parsifal gets revived with the extra life he got earlier. And so yeah, I mean that's pretty much all the similarities, all the major ones anyways. There's obviously a lot of I don't know what I'm saying. We're gonna move on to the differences. That's what I think I'm getting at here. So the differences is mainly every single trial is different. Also, in the movie, there's only a single gate that you need all three keys to open, whereas in the book, there's a gate after every key. So those are different, and each gate also has a trial. So those trials are not in the movie at all, and all the trials in the movie are different than the trials in the book, which I actually think was the correct choice to do. Anyways, first difference is that there's no high school planet, because at the beginning of the book, Parsifal, or Wade Watts, is a high school student who goes to high school in the Oasis, and he's very poor, so he can't actually really leave the planet of high school, which I don't know if it's necessarily like high school. It's called Ludus. It's just like an education program. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is for only high school students. It could also be for other like levels of schooling, so like middle school and stuff like that, but it's never really specified. Anyways, that's luckily for him, he doesn't need money because the first key is on that planet. So anyways, all the trials are different, so we'll get into this now. The first trial in the film is a race where you have to go backwards, whereas in the book it is a D&D dungeon based off of the Tomb of Horrors module, and once you get through that, then you have to play against a lich in the video game Joust, and then that's how you win the key. And then after that, they go to the Copper Gate, which was on a planet that was just filled with a recreation of Halliday's hometown. So you had to go to his room, and then that's where the Copper Gate was located. And then in that, it was like a replay of a movie, like where you would be the main character and you had to say dialogue, and kind of be an actor, I guess, in the movie. And you get rewarded with points based on if you get the line correct, and you get bonus points if you do it in the same, like how you're supposed to deliver the line, which is honestly an interesting idea and would probably help be a beneficial like training thing for actors, I think. And if you forget a line or if you get a line incorrect, it takes away points, I believe. Anyways, and the second trial, in the movie, it's like you go into like The Shining, and then there's like a dance with like you have to dance with somebody. There's like a bunch of undead people. There's a bunch of zombies floating over a void, dancing, and you have to, I don't know if, I think you have to cross the void or something. I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've seen the film. And then in the book, it's like a 3D, 3D depiction, I guess, is the best word, of the game Zork, which is like a text-based game. And then you have to get like a Captain Crunch, like open up a prize whistle, Captain Crunch prize whistle, and then get all of the like treasures from the Zork, and then put them in a case, and then blow the whistle, and then that's how you get the second key. And then the gate after that is a Blade Runner reference, where you have to go to some machine. I've never seen Blade Runner, so I do not get this at all. But then that opens the second gate, and then that one you have to play. What's it called? Black Tiger, I think is what it's called. You have to play that, and that's also a 3D representation where you're playing as in first person, basically. Okay, and now the third trial is the in the movie. It's the adventure Easter egg. That's what it is, which is like the first Easter egg, and that's kind of the same in the film, but not, because adventure is technically like the last thing you need to do to get the egg, whereas in the movie it's the trial to get the crystal key, which is not the case in the book. In the book, it's like something to do with Rush, which is like a band. I partly listen to music, so I've also never heard of them. The only thing I've heard of it in the book that I've read is Dungeons and Dragons, and even then that's a way earlier module, I think, so I've never played it or anything. Anyways, another major difference in the movie compared to the book, Artemis, the love interest to Parzival / Wade Watts, is a revolutionary kind of person in the movie, fighting against IOI because they basically made her parents indentured servants, and then they died doing that because the conditions were so poor. So yeah, that's a major difference. That is not the case in the book at all. She's just kind of a whiny bitch the entire time. Not the entire time, but towards the end she is. Which I talked about in my review of the book, when because basically Parzival saved her life by telling her that IOI planned on capturing her and then killing her after they got the information that they wanted. And then so he told her that, and then she gets all whiny, upset, and doesn't even thank him for basically saving her life and by informing her of this. Instead, she's all whiny and upset that he invaded her privacy, which is dumb and stupid. Anyways, another difference is Dato and Shoto. In the book, they are not brothers, not actual brothers, whereas in the movie, I think that they are actual brothers, and in the movie, they are not like college age shut-ins, whereas in the book, that's what they are. They're college-age shut-ins. In the movie, they were actually like kids, so pretty wild there. Also, in the book, Dato dies. He gets murdered by IOI, whereas in the movie, that also doesn't happen. So yeah, lots of things happen. Also, Dato is like much more. Also, in the movie, I think Dato and Shoto were friends of H in the first place. I think. I'm not really sure, but then also after that, in the book that they weren't, and Dato was kind of an asshole as well in the book, and he wasn't in the movie, so I don't know why that is. Anyways, in the movie, instead of Parsifal infiltrating IOI and whatnot, it is Artemis actually gets captured and is forced into indentured servitude, whereas Parsifal willingly goes into indentured servitude to find out information in what the IOI is planning, and Artemis deactivates the shield in the movie, whereas in the by killing some IOI agent that was casting the shield or whatever, whereas in the book, Parsifal programs a robot to an Oasis to go and self-destruct, basically. Anyways, another difference is Ogden Morrow. Ogden Morrow in the book basically was listening in on them the entire time, and then helps them later by having them stay at his house, his manor, while IOI is hunting them, giving them a safe place to basically do the final fight and get the Easter egg. Whereas in the movie, that does not happen. Ogden Morrow actually never shows up pretty much until the end. Although I think he was the curator for Halliday's Memories. He was the curator for that, and he's actually the one that gave Parsifal the extra life coin in the movie. Whereas in the book, Parsifal interpreted the second clue wrong and went to a museum place where he then played Pac-Man to get a perfect game, and then that's what gave him the extra life. So yeah. Last difference in this book, in the book and movies, is actually a character called IROC. In the movie, he's like some sort of player assassin or something. I'm not entirely sure what exactly he is. But, I mean, he's still kind of incompetent, I guess. But, anyways, in the book, he's just kind of an annoyance. He is like a rich kid who knows H, and that's pretty much it. And then Parsifal finds the key. He makes fun of Parsifal a lot for being poor as well. And then Parsifal finds the key, and then IROC leaks the information that H and Parsifal went to school on Ludus. That's his entire role in the book. Whereas in the film, IROC plays a more sinister role, as he whenever they're Artemis and Parsifal are partying at that club and are attacked by IOI, it is IROC who finds out what Parsifal's real name is, and then also almost kills them, I believe, if I remember that right. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much all the major differences there. So yeah. Now here's why I guess I think the movie is better. So I think mainly because It can do visual references, which is good as well, as opposed to the book, which can't. It'll just have to say what the reference is. But also, the book is more filled with a lot more nowadays more obscure things to more cultural now current, right? Like it had Zork. I've never heard of Zork. I've never heard of Joust, or I've never heard of Adventure until, I watched the film. So yeah, a lot of these gaming history I've never heard of. I've also never heard of Black Tiger. I know that there was a Monty Python reference in the book. I got that one. I like that movie. I'll leave before I taunt you a second time. Whereas in the movie, anyways, they use more of the modern culture and stuff. And that's also probably why they have different trials, because obviously people who watch the movie are not really gonna. They wanted to basically appeal to a larger audience, not just the people that grew up with those games and that stuff. So they wanted to appeal to a lot broader audiences, which is why they included a bunch of different video game references. Like I think Sonic was in it, Master Chief. You had the Battletoads. Iron Giant was in there in the movie, which is very obviously good because you're appealing to a larger audience. More people are going to watch the movie, therefore you're going to make more money, which is good for them. Anyways, but that's why I like it better, because you can include more references to media, and I actually got to see a lot more of those references that I understood. But what really makes the movie better to me is, in fact, Artemis. Artemis in the movie is a much better character than Artemis in the book, where she's a revolutionary kind of fighting against a corrupt organization in the movie, and not a whiny little piece of crap in the book like she is. Anyways, that's pretty much it, I think. Also, no, there's one more thing why I think the movie is better. The theme of the book, apparently, is that don't get sucked into a fake world. There are plenty of good things in reality. That's the main theme. So it's like, don't be sucked into video games and only do video games. It's like, go have life. Whereas, and that only shows up at the end of the book. Like, it's the only time it shows up is at the end of the book, where Parsifal is talking to the avatar of Halliday. That's the only time it comes up in the book. Whereas in the movie, it is present with Artemis's character because she's a revolutionary and she very much cares about the real world and the consequences of IOI. I mean, she likes, obviously, the Oasis, because everybody does in the movie and the book. But she's much more concerned about real-world consequences, which is also why she kind of rejected him, Parsifal, there when they were at the club, is because of, like, you don't know who I am, and she clearly, you're like, you don't live in the real world, is literally, I think, what she says to him. So that's another reason why I like the movie better. It's because it actually carries the theme better than the book does of what the theme is supposed to be. So yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to comment your own opinion in the comment section. And if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like and subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. And anyways, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.